Hi folks, Bill here, how are you doing? It's the end of May and there's quite a few things need to get done in the garden. Fair wee bit of pruning to do and things like that. Today in the post, before we get started, got this. It's a little guide for identifying trees. It's got a start here somewhere. Where is it now? Oh yeah, there it is there. It's quite big and it's like start here and you can work your way along and help you identify certain trees. And that's really cool. I was actually going to put it up there as decorating my shed. It's actually quite a nice wee guide actually. And there's only a few pounds, £4 or something. It's actually got some information about it as well. So, for example, did you know, right here, in the hornbeam. In fact, I'll show you the hornbeam. There it is there. Number 41, the hornbeam. There you go, nice illustration. Okay, that one there. So, going to the species at the back there, hornbeam, native to southeast England. Southeast England? I don't live in southeast England. So it's not native to me. Anyway, there's quite a few surprises like that. But in the meantime, enough of that just now. I'll probably use that in other videos. But let's get out to the garden and I'll take some tools with me and I'll see if I need to do some chopping. Right, see you outside. So let's head up to the back garden here. And where my big Acer is. It's the Acer Katsura. It's looking okay. I don't think there's a few things. I was going to say I don't think it needs pruned, but there's a few little bits and pieces that need pruned there. And I've got 3 more Katsuras in my orange dream there, and my orange dream has been suffering quite a bit. Let's have a closer look. It's actually got seeds there, look. If we can get in focus. It's actually got some seeds there. But yeah, so it's got, having a wee problem with these, a bit of scorching in the leaves. So I'm going to try and cut off some of these sort of horrible leaves. But I can see there's lots of new shoots coming out. But these things look quite unsightly, to be honest with you. There's some fresh new leaves here and there, and so I think this was happened when we had this really hot weather, hot dry weather, and obviously this has been recently repotted. So there's some nice, beautiful, nice fresh foliage here. There's some leaves coming there, but there's nothing back here. I'll leave that now, see what happens. See if anything develops. So let's chop off some of these horrible leaves just now. Some nice new leaves there. But it could be that it was just because it was repotted, and of course it was really hot weather, and it's been struggling to keep up with watering. So, but I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, so it's looking a little bit better. Now, moving over a bit, now these ones, Katsuras. Now the Katsuras here are looking a little bit funky as well. There's some quite dried out leaves there. I'm not sure what's going on. It could be the same thing. Some of the leaves have went a funny colour. But all 3 of them have went like that. So I'm just going to There's a few sort of dead leaves there. It's really weird. So anyway, I'm going to leave that, take that back to there anyway, and see what happens with them. Just leave them, hopefully they'll cover. There's some leaves that are quite okay, other ones are looking a wee bit strange. Not sure what's going on. Moving on, back over to the right here, I mentioned the hornbeam. Well, I've got a little bit of a project here. So I've got this hornbeam, and it's from B&Q, and as soon as I seen it, I had this idea that I wanted to do with it, and I got a pot, but I think the pot is maybe a bit too big for it, to be honest with you. But it's the only round pots I've really got. I don't have many round pots, apart from that one here. And I think that's too big, so I thought that would be a wee bit better, but it's still a wee bit big size, but that's going to be a future project. So in this propagator I've got Blackthorn cuttings, winter jasmine cuttings, and a cutting I took last year from the big Katsura over there. There's a lot of water in this, so I think I need to tip the water out. It's just a bit too wet. Ugh. Even though it's got a lid on it. Cuttings seem to be healthy enough anyway. What on earth is that? Oh yeah, it's another cutting. Right. So the vents are closed, so the water's getting in somehow. Right. Just leave them as they are. Now here you can see two birch trees, and I want to do a separate video on these because I've had a little bit of an issue with them, and I'm going to cover that in a separate video, so I'll skip that for now and I'll talk about them in a different video, okay? Right, so these blackthorn are something I really want to get stuck into. I've let them, when I first got them they were all bare root, put them in the pots here, these buckets, I drilled holes in the buckets for drainage. I wanted to make sure they were alive, going to grow and everything, and put on some plenty of growth, so that happened. I'm quite happy about that. They're growing quite well, apart from one at the end here, which has not had any green on it at all. It doesn't look dead, it just looks like it's not been growing. So I've took some cuttings, and I've got cuttings in the propagator, but what I really want to do now is take some, we'll do some really hard pruning, but not like proper hard pruning. Just want to get some back budding going on. So let's start bringing these down. Reducing the length of these. I want them to start back budding a bit more, to be honest with you. Yeah. Yeah, that's it coming off right there. Cut it off there. Clean. That's better. Right, so as you can see I'm doing some pretty serious trimming here. So that's that one. Again, they'll probably get cut down even more. We'll try and encourage backbudding, and we've got some nice thorns starting to come on them. Nice, some nice thorns here. So I better watch myself, because they're not very friendly trees when they've got their spikes. In fact, you can actually get quite a nasty infection from Blackthorn. That's that one. What do we do with this big one? Ooh. Right, first of all, this one. Take some of these branches out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Cut that one back as well. It's in the way. Right, so I've got these two. I've got this one here. Let's bring you in a bit closer now. So I've got a nice trunk here. It's quite nice, and it's got a beautiful taper. Then it goes off in this funny shape, and you've got this thin little thing here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with that. Take all this off. That'll probably get cut back. Yeah, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what happens with that. Pretty straight, all the way up. Got a wee branch coming towards us here to the side. There, handlebar bar branches here and there, and one there. So that's not so good there. So there we go. So we've got that going on with that one. Quite a severe chop there. Yeah. Take that one away as well, because it's just, don't like how it's competing. Right, anyway, over here. Help if we didn't have the weeds. Be able to see what's going on. Now this one here is like not too bad a trunk. Nothing going on down here until we get to this branch and a couple of branches here. I've chopped that off so you can see what's going on. So taking that back to some leaves. I'm not sure if I like that. This crookedness. If there's a bud here. What the heck? Right, there we go. What the heck? Now this one's got like a right twisted trunk. This one here's got a nasty little trunk, and obviously that branch there is a bit of a menace. And now we've got these trunks that cross as well. So what do you think would be nicer? I think this one with the different shapes. There's nothing, lots of buds, but nothing happening until we get quite further down, so I'm just going to cut it about there and try and encourage some back budding. And this is the one at the back here, it's got nothing on it. It's got no buds on it whatsoever. So I shall just leave that. Burberry that I got, I'm not going to do anything with that. Not just now anyway. But we've got a cat here trying to eat Blackthorn. And I'm not sure if they're poisonous, so the cats, come on hen, you didn't want to be eating that because you got a nasty, come on, they're not for you. So that's the sort of top of the garden. We have a camellia there that's needing a wee bit of, I've actually been pouring cold tea onto that to try and help it with the soil. Got some apples coming up. Big massive rhododendron I've got in the garden. Well, it's not massive, but it's big enough. That's been suffering, and I think it's been the weather, dry weather, drought maybe. So again, I made a massive big bucket of cold tea. Well, it was warm to start with. We've let it cool and then just threw it all over there just to see if it will recover. And I can actually see some flowers coming out of it now actually inside. So what does tea do? So what the tea does is turns the soil more acidic. The tea turns the soil more acidic, and then it lets the plant get the iron and things like that out of the soil, if that is what the problem is. There's some apple, crab apples there. Malus sylvestris, just the usual UK native crab apples, and a little root cutting of a crab apple in there. This was my mum's azalea. Well, it's not actually an azalea, it's a sort of rhododendron variation. It's called geisha orange, and it needs a little prune now, get all the dead heads off. I've got some privet cuttings, they're doing really well. Some rhubarb that I bought from a nursery, that's doing well as well. I've got rhubarb growing over there. Oh, that's quick. But I've already harvested that and made some crumble, and it's starting to grow again. So while we're over at this side, I've still got the two limes. They're the small leaf limes. The Paul Scarlet Hawthorn, this is doing okay. I'll maybe give that a prune and try and encourage more. Maybe give that a prune, try and encourage more back budding down the bottom here. Strangely, the 10 beets that I planted a couple of months ago, I haven't done anything. I got them the same time as I got the Blackthorn, but they've not really done much at all. So maybe they'll just need to sit there for a year or so. So back over to this side, beside the potting shed again. I did a video on these Honoki Cypresses and they were dying, and well, this one totally died and I wasn't sure why, but now I do know why. It's during the winter. It just got completely soaked with the rain all the time, just constantly sitting in wet, and they just got too wet for too long, and then they started dying off. And since the better weathers came, they started picking up a bit, you know, they started looking healthier, but obviously there's some all this dead bits. And I've actually got a little bit of a nice wee stone, and I want to do something with these. They're growing through the stones and stuff like that, but we'll see. Okay, so that's another wee project I've got, but that one died completely. There's 4 of them I've got, and over there there's some Chinese elm cuttings that seem to be doing okay, apart from that one at the back. I think I've ruined the roots on that one, but the other 3 are doing okay. And then down to this bench that down to my wee bench that I made. In that pot there, the pyracantha, I've just got that there and seeing if it will recover. A wee blackthorn there, that's there, hopefully that will recover as well. The roots were really poor on that. And that there is actually a shoot, a blackthorn that I got off of like one of the roots of the other ones, or the wee baby blackthorn. The cotaneaster that I wired and made as a cascade. I'm still considering thinking of just giving this a massive trunk chopper, an air layer, possibly an air layer about here, making 2 trees out of this one. So interesting. And I've got the 2 field maples there, winter jasmine there that I'll trim down, and a few various other things including the shoujo maples. My wee Acer Phoenix suffered too much. The Acer Phoenix here suffered too much in this heat and just withered and died, I think. So been trying to keep it watered, but I don't think it's going to survive. More blackthorn there in the corner. Wee sycamore that I've had for at least about 5 years, believe it or not, and it's hardly done anything. Wee oak that I collected last year, and a couple of Chinese elms, and another wee going green, I think it is. I've got all these chestnut trees still sitting there. There's about 37, 38 of them there. I've got willow, and I've still got this trough and I've still not dug it out. I don't know if you remember the ash from last year that had root rot and were dying. That's them there. And another one, take that weed away back there. But Miss Holly is like really bad, so I think that's probably died. And I think it could be the soil type, I'm not sure though. Mountain ash there, Honoki Cypress there. So continuing on, I've got this olive tree which I'll probably need to repot and get out of that soil and get into something a bit better, I suppose. Nice wee azalea that I got from my missus to admire. The flowers are starting to wilt now, so I'll need dead-headed soon. Now my wee pyracantha, that there, was looking a bit sorry for itself because it got knocked over and I found it lying upside down, so an animal's knocked it over. The quints, possibly that one, but I also got a lot of foxes. So the quints, this is the first time I've had a Japanese quints. Now the leaves don't look very healthy, so I think it's putting a lot of energy into the fruit. And if I do put it in a pot, it'd make a really nice windswept style. But I just wanted to let the fruit grow to see them, because I don't think I've ever seen one before. So I just let that carry on. Along the wall here is my Hawthorn from root cutting. That's it there. And needs a wee prune because I've got sort of all sorts of shoots popping out from places. Lots of little new shoots that probably need to be pruned. But it is doing well. It is surviving and very happy for it. This tree here, I've had this for say another 5 years as well maybe. And it's a witch elm and it's been in a wee pot. It's not going to get that much big. I always usually prune it back to a couple of leaves and things like that, take off all the big leaves. And I'll give it a wee prune now and then. Again, a couple more Honoki Cypresses. I've not done anything, still in the nursery pots. I took some cuttings from a big Acer about a week or two ago and I've left them in that tub at the back there. I've not done anything. I'm going to be doing some work on this oak, hopefully soon, but definitely for summer anyway. And I want to try and encourage some back budding. It might get a big trunk chop, or I might, well, we'll see. I'm going to be making a big decision with that shortly. And I've just got a various mixture of stuff at the back here, including Fuji cherries. I've got the wee cherries there, a wee Fuji cherry on the wall there as well. There's a couple of acers, some more acers there, wee white flowered azalea, and other little bits and bobs. So other than that, I've got a few more crabapple trees that you've seen before, if you followed along. And this has been a little prune, some of the little wee buds and shoots that's popping up in places that probably don't really want them. Yeah. So again, it's doing well though. Very happy. So that's it for this wee update in the end of May. Appreciate you watching. I'd love it if you could subscribe. That'd be amazing. Makes so much of a difference to me. Sometimes I look at the stats and it's kind of disheartening, so it'd be nice to see some nice stats, but that's your choice of course. And I've got quite a wee bit of work to do, so I shall be recording a fair bit of it, hopefully. The weather now has changed. It's the end of May. The first 3 weeks of May was really nice, and now we've got low pressure coming over the UK and one after the other just following along. So we're getting a bit of mildness but wet, and we've had some really heavy rain recently, so it kind of hampers things a little bit, but never mind. That's the joys of having a hobby where you're outdoors and in nature, having to put up with the weather. So anyway, thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and give it a thumbs up and please subscribe because it makes a big difference to me. And I'll see you on the next video, and thank you very much. Bye bye.